into today's session. Let us start by giving you all a quick brief on what Octanet is. So, Tech Octanet is a budding startup headquartered in Bhubaneswar, specializing in IT solutions across diverse sectors including e-commerce, real estate, automation, and personalized business application. Our primary focus is to provide affordable services to startups, aiding them into their digital initiatives. In addition to our core services, we are expanding into the corporate training sector, aiming to equip future corporate employees with a solid foundation. We also address student needs by identifying academic project requirements, internship opportunities, and offering comprehensive solutions. We are proud to be incorporated as an organization with the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, registered with MSME, and approved by AICTE for internship programs. Also, our commitment to quality is underscored by ISO 9001 2015 certification, ensuring that every project we undertake reaches highest standards of excellence. Okay, thank you so much. That was all. Let us now stage our instructor and start today's session.
Hello everyone, I hope I am audible. I hope I am audible right now. So, today we are going to study about the web development part and okay, I think I am audible. So, in this session, what we are going to study is some basics of everything like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and also a little bit about the backend part, how like how server interacts with the client, and we'll develop some very basic projects. I cannot say very high level projects, but some basic projects for your understanding. Meanwhile, I am setting up the my notes for teaching you all. Can you guys tell me how much knowledge you have regarding web development? I'll start with the very basics. Let me share my screen. Okay, I hope my screen is visible to all. Okay, so starting with the very basics. So, if we see any website on the internet, suppose I go to this particular page, or let's suppose go to www.google.com, and if I see this particular page, then you can see it contains text, right? An image of like Google logo, it's an image, some buttons where I can search something, right? And some languages, like some anchor tags, like if I click on this, I can go to this particular language. If I change this, so a lot of things I am able to interact with this particular page. So how am I doing this? This is the part that we are going to study for today's session, like how things are interacting, where the request is going to be sent, and everything here. Okay, so all of the web pages that you are going to that you basically see on the browser are written in a type language which is known as HTML. Okay, so if you click on, let me show you once again. If I right click on my browser and I click on inspect, okay, so you can see, if you see the elements tab here, then you will be able to see some text that is written here, and in the starting you will see that HTML is written. So this means all of the web pages are written in HTML. So you cannot write any code, like any, you cannot develop any website without HTML. So HTML is the core of uh, web development, so it's very important that you understand about HTML. Now HTML stands for hypertext markup language. Okay, so hypertext means that all the hypertext refers to all the text that we are referring on the browser, all the browser text, and its markup languages basically, uh, like we write text on notepad, it's similar to that. HTML is not a programming language. Like if you have any knowledge about C++ or Python, we can run these languages, we can create calculative functions in these languages, but we cannot do so in HTML. It's just like we are writing plain text, and we can see that on the browser. We cannot do mathematical calculations. So HTML is not a programming language, it's just a simple markup language, or we can also say it's a language for browser. Okay, it is a browser text language. Okay, we can also say it like this, browser text language. Okay, now we can make our text bold, we can make it italicized, and we can also add image. So HTML is just a simple browser text language. So it's just like writing an essay. You are writing an essay, but on the website. Is I hope this part is clear. Yeah, it's not case sensitive. So first of all, for writing all the HTML, we have to write boilerplate code. What is boilerplate code? Let me tell it to you once. So this particular let me create. Okay, I am inside basics, a basic HTML folder. So I will create a new file. You can create this file anywhere on your laptop. So if I just write it index, and I have to give a designation of HTML. So as soon as I give this, my laptop, my computer will be able to understand that okay, this is an HTML file. Okay, now next thing is, for start writing in HTML, we have to write boilerplate code. So boilerplate code refers to, if I write here doc type HTML. So as soon as I write this, my file will be able to understand that after this particular line, I am going to write HTML. Okay, give me a minute. Yeah. So as soon as I write here doc type, okay, so my file will be able to understand that okay, after this the user is going to write HTML. So this refers to boilerplate code. Now after this I will write HTML. This is the basic boilerplate code for writing HTML. For all the code you have to write this. Okay, now this particular thing is known as tags. They are known as tags in HTML. So there are a lot of tags in HTML. We are going to study each of them a little bit. Like I'll explain it to you a little bit. So this is known as the boilerplate code. Okay, now there are a lot of things that we can write here. If you want to see what is written here, if like I want to open this in the browser, what I can do is I can just right click on this and copy the path of my HTML file. I will go back to the web page. It's not like very necessary to always have index. You can name it anything. Like I have a lot of HTML file, about.html, chickens.html, emmet.demo.html, assignment HTML. So it's not necessary for you to name it as HTML. You can name it anything else that you want. Okay, only the thing is after dot the designation should be HTML only. Okay, so this is the simple boilerplate code for HTML. I hope you guys are able to understand this. Now, I have also written this here that my browser will be able to understand HTML. Okay, but we should not do this part. Okay, as soon as you are writing your file with .html notation, your browser will be able to understand that okay, this is an HTML file, but we should not do this. This is a very like fundamentally very wrong practice. So we should always start by writing the doc type HTML and the boilerplate code. So let me just open this. I will copy the path of my file. I will go to my browser and I have pasted the path here in the browser. Now you can see this is the blank white screen on the browser. So this is the first step of creating a website. That what I have done, I have created the dot notation and opened this. So you can see our all the browsers are able to recognize .html format. If I paste any other file path here, they will not be able to recognize this. Okay, I hope this part is clear. Now let's move further. So title, what happens, what is this particular title tag? So this particular portion is divided into two sections. Okay, let me just explain it to you a little bit more clearly. So if I just give me a minute. Hmm. Okay. Okay. So yeah. So what I was saying was that we have a browser. Okay, let me draw it. I think it's not syncing correctly. Give me a minute. I'm writing this, but it's not displaying. Just give me a minute. Okay, I have to sign in also. Okay, this will take some time. So let's understand it this way only. So suppose this is your browser. This is your browser page. Okay. Now you can see at the top this is index.html. This is written here, right at the title. But if you see www.google.com page, then you can see that at the title I am getting icon and also logo of the Google. It's not like the name of the file. So if I want to change this at the top, so what I can do is I can write here title. Okay, and I can write here learning HTML. For example, I have written that. If I save this and I click on refresh, then you can see that I am able to change the title. So what this title tag does, it changes the title, the top title of my web browser. You can name it anything that you want. Okay, so this is title. One more important thing is there are two sections of the browser. This particular is the top section. The gray portion that you are seeing right now is known as the head section of the browser, and the white portion that you are seeing here is known as the body portion of the browser. So if I want to write a good concise code for HTML, what we do is we divide it into two sections. The first one is the head section, okay, and the another one is the body section. In title in everything, since it's at the gray region, so it comes inside the head part, and everything that I want to do inside uh, my white portion, this particular portion will come inside my body part, so that you everything will work fine if you don't write head and body. But it's always a good practice to continue writing your code like this, okay. It's they are known as good coding practices, okay. So I have written it like this. So now if I go back, click refresh, so you can see I'm getting this learning HTML title displayed here. And I have not written anything inside the body, so it's blank. Okay. Now, suppose I want to write anything inside body in the blank portion. So what I can do is I can write here another tag h1. H1 stands for heading. This is the largest heading that is present in HTML. Okay. And if I write here hello, I am learning HTML. Okay. I click on save, go back, click on refresh. Then you can see I am able to see the text on the blank white page displayed on the browser. So I have written inside the body one h1. So similar to like this is only one h1. I can create more than one headings. Okay. I can write here hello, second heading. Okay. Second heading. Similarly, I can create more, like a lot of these similar headings. Like I can repeat the tags. Okay. If I click on refresh, so you can see I am able to repeat the tags. Right. So similar to H1, there are different types of heading tags. Okay. So if suppose I want the heading a little bit smaller, so what I can do, I can use h2 and I can say hello, I am h2. Okay. If I click on refresh, then you can see that it's coming a little bit smaller than the h1. Similarly, there is h3. Okay, hello, I am h3, and you can write anything inside this tag. This is all more smaller, and if I write here h4, then hello, I am h4. Okay, so you can see 6 different styles of headings are present in HTML. Okay, so this can be called as heading, and these all can be called as subheadings in the document, right? So in this way, you can create different types of headings also, and these will work completely fine. So they are known as the heading tags. Okay, they have the decreasing order of their size. So if you guys have any doubts in this, you can ask. Okay, if you have any of the doubts. Okay, okay, it's fine. Now yeah, this is the part that we have completed. Now let's suppose I want to create something in the bold format, or let's say I don't want to write heading but simple plain text, right? So what I can do is I can use another tag which is known as the p tag, and p tags are used for writing paragraphs. Okay, so let's suppose I open the Wikipedia page and I take some random paragraph from here. Okay, this is the first paragraph, so I am going to copy this. Okay, and I am going to paste this inside my p tag. Okay, if I click on go back to my web page and I click on refresh, so you can see I am able to see this as a plain text. So if you want to write paragraphs or if you want to write plain text, not these headings, what you can do is you can use the p tag. Now suppose I want to make only India as a bold, not all the text but only India. So what I can do is I can use a tag, so known as, I can use tag inside tag. So what I can do is I can create this b tag, and inside this I can wrap India or anything that I want in bold. So if I write here p tag, click on refresh, so you can see India is now coming in a bold format. So this is also possible that we can use text inside text. Okay, let me just format the document a little bit. So now it's coming in a much better format, and you can see text, the tag inside the tag. Okay, be opening tag and be closing tag. So if you want to make anything bold, you can use b tag. So up till now we have studied about three tags: the heading tag, the paragraph tag, and the bold tag. If you guys have any doubts in this, you can ask in the chat box. Okay, yeah, we can also use lorem ipsum. Now suppose you don't have suppose you don't have any content to add to your website, what you can do is you can go to this particular website known as the lorem ipsum. It generates random paragraphs for you. You can check this out, and you can generate like very random, yeah, this loremipsum.io. So this will generate random paragraphs for you. Okay, you can define the amount of paragraphs you want, or if you want sentences, or let's suppose you want words only, so you can look at it. Okay, see, the words are generated only. So you can do this, you can play around with this, and you can add this in your, like, copy and paste this particular text also in your browser. Okay, H1 is the biggest heading tag. It's not like this will not, like, this size cannot be increased. This can be increased manually with CSS. When we learn about the styling and the CSS part, we'll look into it. But for now, just understand that H1 is the biggest heading tag. Okay. Okay, now, yeah. So we have studied about the title tag, the heading tag, and the bold tag. Now, suppose if I go to Wikipedia page, for example, and I scroll a little bit down, mm, I'm not getting it here. Let me search here. Lists. Okay, if I search list here, go to images. Uh, yeah. So, have you seen these kind of lists somewhere, like the dot and the list? Let me show you it in some text only. It will be better. Yeah. So might have seen in a lot of text these kind of lists, right? These kind of, the call to order, new member introduction, and a lot of these. So we can also create these kind of lists by using HTML. Okay. How we can do this? So for this we have tag known as the UL tag, and in UL tag we also have different tags. I'll explain it to you one by one. So if I just if I write UL, okay, so I will get one opening and the closing tag, and inside this if I write LI, okay, and I say let's suppose bread, I click on refresh, and let's see what is happening now. So you can see I am getting bread with a bullet point, right? I am getting bread with a bullet point. So similar to this, I can add more list items. I can write fruits here, and I can write different items can be, I can write here, and you can see I am getting them as plain bullet points. So by increasing the list items inside the UL, I am able to create lists items also. Okay, now suppose you don't want these bullet items, like you don't want these bullet points, but you want the numbered list. Okay, so for that, in place of using UL, we use OL. Okay, OL, and inside that I can just copy paste these list items simply. and they will work completely fine. So that's the difference. UL stands for unordered list. Unordered list means the list that is not like ordered, which does not have numbering in that. So that's why we are writing UL here. And for if OL is considered, OL stands for ordered list. So that's why the shorthand OL is used here. So if I just go back and if I click on refresh, then you can see that I am getting the numbered list here. Okay, so if you want to write numbered list, you can use OL, and if you want to write bullet points simply, you can use UL. I hope this part is clear to all of you. Yeah. Okay. So if you want, you can look at it once. You can look at the code once, and if you have any doubt, you can ask. Then we'll continue further and study about more tags that are present in HTML. Meanwhile, if you, I don't think due to time constraints we'll be able to complete all the tags because there are a lot of tags in HTML, and it's not practically possible to remember all of them. Okay, but you can simply search on Google. Suppose you want to make something italicized, you can use Google. And this is a very important part, that it's not always like very necessary to remember to mug up all the things in web development, because there are a lot of things that cannot be learned very easily, right? So you, if you want to learn more about the tags, you can go to W3 School's documentation, and they have like explained everything very clearly and very concise. So here they have displayed all of the tags that are present in HTML. So if you want to study about all of them and like learn how, what all tags are present, you can check this out and study about that. If so, even if we are not able to complete about learning about all the tags, you will be able to do that here. Okay. uh, okay, so let's move further. Now we have studied about heading, paragraph, UL, and the OL tag. Right now, what I can do is I can create some links also. Like uh, if you see here, there is a lot of blue text, right, in this particular Wikipedia page, and suppose this is the particular link, and it's saying populous country, right? If I click on it, I'll be redirected to another website which will tell me about the population, right? And if I go black and if I click on South Asia, for example, I will be redirected to new website explaining about the South Asia page. And you can also see that this particular URL is also changing. If I go back, this particular URL says wikipedia.org/wiki/India, and as soon as I click on South Asia, this will change to South Asia, right? So that means our website is changing. So how we can implement this feature using HTML? So by using tags, which are also known as the anchor tags. So if I write here A, okay, so A refers to the anchor tag. The full form of A is anchor, and this is known as the attribute. Everything that you are going to write inside the tag, this is opening tag, and inside this I am writing href. So href is known as the attribute. So inside this href attribute, if I write source or URL of any website, I'll be redirected to that. So inside this I will, let's suppose, write Google. Okay, and I click on refresh, go back, click on refresh. So you can see I am getting this blue color, but I am not being redirected anywhere. Why? Because I have not provided URL here. Okay, I simply written the name and I have not provided the URL. So what I'm going to do is I am going to give it the URL of Google. Okay, I will copy this and go back, and inside this href I am going to paste the URL of my website that I want to open when clicked on Google. So if I click on refresh and if I click here, you can see I am getting redirected to google.com. Right. So you can give any URL website by copying pasting it from here inside your anchor tag, and this will work completely fine. Okay. So this is known as the anchor tag. So I hope this part is clear to all of you. The next tag is, yeah, here also I have written hrefgoogle.com, and if you click on this particular link, it will go to href. Okay, and I can also add this link text inside the a that I have written here. See, this is the link text. Okay, paragraph tag we recently studied about. Now, you might have also seen a lot of images present on the web pages. Our web page right now does not contain any image right now. So, how can we add images? So, HTML also has one image tag. If I right here img, so I'll be getting an image tag, right? So there is also one more important thing, that if you look closely, a tag, this is the opening part and this is the closing part of anchor tag, right? Slash a, for closing any tag we are using slash, right? Inside list also they have their closing tag. Inside paragraph they are also having their paragraph closing tag. All of them have their closing tag, but image does not have their closing tag, right? So image is one of the tag. It's not the only tag, but it's one of the HTML tag which does not have a closing tag. So it's a very important question if asked anywhere, that what are the tags in HTML which do not have a closing tag. So you can say image tag is one of the tags that do not have a closing tag. Okay, so this is the first attribute, which is src, and the second attribute, which is the alt. We'll learn about this one by one. So what we can do is, inside the src, if we go to Google and search random images URL, for example, okay, and this is lorem pixum. Let's not use it. Okay, let's go here, and okay, so they are giving me random images URL. Okay, so I will just copy this and I will paste this URL in my source. So you can see this is simple a URL where images stored. Okay, so I have stored this here, and what I can do is I can save it. I am leaving alt empty for now. Okay, I am leaving alt empty. I will go back to my web page and I click on refresh. So you can see I am getting one image, right? I am getting this particular image here. This is a random image generated from lorem pixum. So you can add any URL of the image that you want from the SRC, be it from other web pages also. If I just take this random dog image, right? And okay, this is not okay. Okay, these are not available images. Let me just remove URL from here. And suppose this is the image, okay, and I will just copy any image. This image I will copy image address, and I will go back in the src. I can paste this. Okay, I click on refresh. So I go back, click on refresh. So you can see I am getting that random image. So inside the src, if you write the location of the image, you will be able to see that particular image on your browser. I hope this part is clear to all of you. Okay, so yeah, so suppose for some reason your URL is wrong. Okay, let's suppose I don't have this. Okay, this is a wrong URL. I have copy pasted the wrong URL. Let's see what happens if I click on refresh. So you can see I'm not getting anything because my URL is wrong. So in all these cases, suppose there is network connectivity issues or anything, what we do, we write that inside alt tab, that there was something on this portion, there was something here which is not right now getting displayed. You might have also seen that. So if I write here image, image.png, for example, I have written that here. I go back, click on refresh. So you can see it's now saying that there was something here named image.png which is not getting displayed for some reason. So that's why it's very important to have alt tags in your images, so that it does not come out to be as blank region, right? It should display something, so that users can know that there was some image here, and due to network connectivity issues it's not getting displayed. Okay, so that's the use of first attribute src and the second attribute alt. You can write plainly anything here, simple image also, or anything of your choice. Okay, so that's the use of how we can do the images part. Okay, now let me check once what else we have. Yeah, so source so alt is the text, okay, that I was saying right now. Alt is the text that will appear if picture gets deleted or is unavailable for some reason, or if someone is using a screen reader, so that in that case all of this will be unavailable, your image will not be available, right? So this is another type of tag. Now we also have subscript and superscript. So you might be knowing the use cases of subscript and superscript. So let me explain it to you. Suppose I want to write h2o. Okay, I want to write H2O. Okay, so if you say here very clearly how H2O is written, so here 2 is written as a subscript, right? 2 is written as a subscript. So how I can achieve this? If I simply write here p tag and H2O, okay, and if I save this, go back here, then you can see H2O is not coming as 2 is not coming as a subscript, right? It's coming in one line. So what I can do is here I can add a sub tag inside the paragraph tag, and I can wrap my 2 here. Let me refresh this. Then you can see now I am getting 2 as a subscript. Now suppose I don't want it as a subscript but a superscript, that it will come at the top part. So I have written this and I click on refresh. So you can see now it's coming as a superscript. So these two tags are also important, that how we can add subscript and superscripts. Okay. Now HTML should only have head and body tags. Okay, that I also explained it to you guys. And all of the content that is present goes inside the body tag, and links, references, and everything, they go inside the head tag. We'll learn about this more further, but for now just understand that all the content that we are writing will always go inside the body tag, and all the links and information about the other websites will go in the head tag, including title and everything. This is one also important point, that any web page should only have one h1 tag. Like you can write more than one h1 tag, for sure there is no issues. But when when we are using search engine optimization techniques, what is engine optimization technique? They basically refer to how your website is going to land to the top searches, right? Like if I am searching anything like images, then you can see there are lot of websites, Google Images, these Pexels, another Unsplash. So how you can make sure that your website is getting at the top of the searches is what search engine optimization does. So if you are writing only one h1 tag, then it will surely help us when Google will be searching your web page. So it will first search for your heading, first h1 tag. And if you are writing more than one h1, then this can create a confusion for your searches. Okay, so you should always use only one h1 tag. Okay, you should remember this. And now there are also some of the times in which you are going to write elements that are not available on your keyboard, you know. So there are some certain symbols. For example, this particular code, let's try writing this code. Okay, if I write here h1, and inside this h1 I paste this particular code, only nothing else, only this code. Let's go back and see what we are getting. So I'm getting this particular code which is not present on my keyboard. So there are a lot of codes you can search on the internet, these codes, and you can you can like use these codes on your web page also. Similar to this, I also have, we can use like spades also, uh these characters also. So well, like you can do a lot of, you can like search for them, these codes. And these codes are also known as the entity codes. Okay, if, let me search for entity codes also. I close this. Entity codes, like I already told you, we cannot learn uh, a lot of, there are a lot of entity codes. See, these all are some entity codes. So you cannot remember all of them, right? So this is the @ symbol. So the Unicode HTML entity code, if I write here and comment, then I will be able to get this particular code. So you can check this out. Okay, you can check this out and you can work on it now. Yeah. Okay, uh, I hope part up till this is clear to all of you. You can revise this, then we can continue in a minute. You can take the screenshot of this code also if you want, and then we can continue writing, like studying further about this, and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I hope you guys have revised what we have studied up till now. Now we are going to study further of a little bit some of the more HTML tags that are present. Now we have another type of tag which is known as the div tag. Okay, so you might have seen uh, containers. Okay, so there are a lot of containers, and inside these containers you store things. Okay, so div is nothing but a container which stores your different tags together. Okay, so it does not have a specific meaning of its own, but it's like a jug containing water, and you can store water inside that. In another jug or in another bottle you can store juice. So it's like different containers. So if I write div tag, and inside this I write h1 heading inside div1. Okay, and here inside this I write another h1 and I write heading inside dev2. Okay, and if I click on refresh, go back, then you can see that I am getting two headings, right? First is coming from the div1 and second is coming from the div2. So div does not have any specific meaning of its own, but they are used to hold contents together. Okay, you'll learn more about like the use case of divs. It's very important. So to categorize your contents together. So for now, just remember that div is a container. Okay, so for helping in search and optimization, div have a lot of tags, right? So like div there are a lot of tags like nav, header, footer, section, article. You learn about all of these tags, you understand about all of these tags. They are similar to like div. They are exactly like div, but their name exactly tells us what they are doing, right? So if I want to change something on the website, so I will look for the footer. Okay, so this is the footer, and if I want to change header, then I will go to header. So these are all are some tags, some more tags in HTML, which is just like container. They store tags, right? Nav, for example, is used for creating navigation links. You might have seen on the web pages of some. If we go to Wikipedia, let's check if they have nav links or not. I don't think they have it. Let's go to some of these websites. Uh, why is the internet not working? See, if we see here, you can see this HTML arrow, currency, letter, all of these are known as the nav bar. Okay, this is the nav, and this particular portion there where they have written about inspiration, this is the footer. So you can create something like this, you can create figure, okay, you can create time. So there are a lot of tags similar to that. Now, emmet is a support in VS Code. Like you can create an extension of this emmet. You can download the extension from VS Code, and it helps us write the code snippets for HTML, built-in code snippets. We can use this for increasing the speed of our writing. Okay, you can also check this out. Now, line break and HR tag. These are also, they also don't have closing tag. Now we are going to study a little bit about that. So suppose I have this long paragraph, okay, and what I want is I want to break like go to the next line from Bay of Bengal, okay. So what I will do is I will add here one BR tag, okay. So this is a self closing tag, it does not have a closing tag, and if I click on refresh, go back to my website, then you can see that after Bay of Bengal, you can clearly see after Bay of Bengal, I have gone to the next line, right? I am no longer at the same line. After Bay of Bengal, there is a line break. So what this BR tag does is it creates a line break and we go to the next line. Now suppose after this particular paragraph only, I want a horizontal line. Okay, so what I can write here is HR. So if I click on refresh, then you can see I have an HR tag displayed. Okay, So I hope this part is clear to all of you. Okay, so these are some simple different types of tags. Again, if you want to learn about these tags, you can refer to W3 School's documentation and study it from there. Okay, so up till now we have studied about HR tag, BR tag, these divs and the nav tags. Then we studied about HTML tag, obviously, superscript, subscript, image, paragraph, anchor tag, unordered list, heading tag, title, and all of these. So I hope you don't have any doubts. If you have any doubts, you can feel free to ask and we can move further. Okay, so this part we have completed. Now we'll move to the intermediate part of the HTML. So if you guys have any doubts, you can ask. So you can try building a web page, something similar to this if you want. Yeah, so you can create a web page like this about, or yeah, if you go to home, then this is about something about chickens, right? Some lorem ipsum is there. And if you go to contact, so I have not built like contact page, but you can go to contact also, you can go to home also, you can create this particular website. Okay, try creating this. So up till now what we have studied, you can create a website similar to this. Okay, now we are going to study about the next portion, which comes inside the intermediate HTML part, which is known as the tables and forms. Okay, so what are tables? You might have seen on a lot of websites. You know about what are tables. How we can create them is a little bit complex task when it comes to HTML. So now the structure of table is just similar to HTML document. What we do is we create a T head, T body, and T foot. Let me show it to you with one of the what I can say. Yeah, so this is about the form, heaviest word. Yeah, so if I click on this, if I open this particular web page, let me open this. So you can see it is giving a table format, like have heaviest birds that are present: ostrich, Somali ostrich, and wild turkey. Right. So they have their, what we can say, headings, the table headings and the table content. Right. And we are also getting the heading. So now what we'll do is we'll try creating this particular table on our own. So if you see very clearly, just like the format of HTML, I will just remove everything and I will build everything from scratch again. So I have removed everything from my index.html file. And if I again copy path, okay, and paste this here, so this is blank. Okay, so because I have not written anything, again I will write doc type HTML, doc type HTML, right? HTML. I will divide my page into two portions: head and the body. Okay, head and the body. Now what I will do is I will inside head add the title that I am learning about tables. Okay, I click on this, click on refresh, so you can see I'm able to see this. Now here I will add h1 table, let's suppose 1. Okay, click on refresh, so I am able to see first table, right? So now I will create a table. So for writing steps for creating a table in HTML. Okay, so these are known as the comments. All of these in green line, you can add this particular tag and you will be able to add comments here. They will not be displayed on your web page. Okay, so steps for creating table in HTML. So first of all, you write table tag. Obviously you will write here table. This will be the opening and closing tag for the table. Still you will not be able to see anything. Now you will add Similar to HTML document, you divide your table into two portions. The first portion is the head portion of the table, and the second portion is the body portion of the table. Head portion is where you will see all of these headings: animal, average mass, maximum mass, right? And the body portion is the where you will see the contents of the your table, contents of the table. Okay, this portion is the body portion. So you have created this particular template, you have created the table, you have added the head portion of the table, you have added the body portion of the table, and you have saved everything. Okay, now inside the head, what I can do is I can add one tr. Okay, tr. So this represents the row. Okay, so as soon as you write tr, you will be able to access row here. And if I write here inside tr my th, okay, th, now I write here name, for example, and I click on refresh. I go to my web page, click on refresh, so you can see I'm getting one heading which is with the name and it's bold, right? So I have got my first heading. So inside this tr only, what I can do is I can add another th, okay, and I can write here age. Okay, I can add here organization, or let's say city. Okay, click on refresh, so I am able to add more entries here. Similar to this, I can create one more tr. Okay, name 1, age 1, and city 1. If I click on refresh, so you can see I am getting another header as a in my table, right? So for now I will remove this. I only want one heading, so I will only add one tr for the head portion. Now I will access the body portion. So inside this I will write tr. This will be my first row, and I will add td. Td represents table details. Here we have written th, it represents head of the column. Td is the detail of the column, like what we are going to write here. So first name I can add here, let's say what I can write here for name, John. Okay, let's suppose I write here John, and I save this. Click on refresh, so you can see below name I am getting John. I can add more things, like the age of John will be 23, and I can write here city as, let's suppose, Jaipur. Okay, and I click on refresh, so you can see I'm getting this. Similar to this, I can create a lot of tr. Okay, they will come below one another. So that's how we can create tables in HTML. I hope this part is clear to all of you. Okay, now yeah, so this part is also clear to all of you, I guess, right? And yeah, so we can create what we can do is we can create more tables. It's not like very required that we only can create one table. If I copy the whole table and paste it below, then you will be able to see more than one table. Now there are two tables here, so you can create multiple tables, and you can also create nested tables. So it's very important part. So here if you see the heaviest bird code, so here they have also written table, they have the table head, and they have the headings of the table, then they have the t body, and they have the table details of the columns, different columns. So this is the another table in which they have also displayed the row span and the column span. So if we go here, you can see the row span and column span portion, and you will be able to see that if you add row span to average mass, see here, this is the animal, and here this its row span is 2, and average mass the row span is also 2, and flighted the row span is also 2, and inside that they have defined kg and lbs. See, this is the row span, and inside that they have given kg and lbs. So in this way you can also create tables like this. Inside average mass, kg and lbs, then they have flighted also. So these all will have a row span of 2. So row span 2 will do what? They will come to the top hierarchy, right? Not KG and LBS. And all of those whose row span is not 2, they will come below these headings. So we can also create tables like this. And yeah, so if you guys have any doubts regarding tables, you can ask if you want, and we can, otherwise we can move further. Feel free to ask if you have any doubts regarding all of the things that we have studied up till now. And you can also take the screenshot of the code if you want. That will be easier for you. And we can continue. I'll give you a minute to screenshot this part, and then I'll scroll down. Take the screenshot of this, and then we'll move further. Okay, let's continue further. So this was about the tables. Okay, now there is another concept that is very important. It is forms. Okay, so you might have seen, like, you log in on a lot of like websites. If I just simply go to let's say Facebook only, and I don't think it's refreshing correctly. I don't know the reason, but okay, let me open some another website. Hmm, forms. No, for now the server is not responding. So I don't know the reason, but I guess there is some issue in that. So what we'll do is we'll move forward, and I'll just explain it to you how forms work. Okay. So let me show you one example of forms. If I just open this particular file, okay, let me just paste this here. So you can see I have like created one form where I can add anything, right? I can add here some value, I can add here some value. Okay, I can select color from here, right? I can select number from here, I can enter username, and I can click on submit, right? So it's not submitting anywhere, but I can use this, right? Hey there, this won't submit. So this is how we can create some different forms in HTML also. I can create this checkbox also, I can create these radio buttons also, right? And I can select this drop down, these arrow, and I can also add something here. Okay, so all of these things can be done with the help of forms. Okay, so if we just go, yeah, this is my index.html page. I'll again remove everything from the body part. Okay, and I will change the title to learning forms. I will go back, I will click on refresh. Sorry, yeah, so I will just open this. Okay, paste it here, so I am getting learning forms part. Okay, now inside the body I will give one heading also, which will be about learning about forms in HTML. Okay, I click on refresh. So this is how I can add the heading. Now for creating a form, we use the tag in HTML, which is form tag. Now you can see it has given me the attribute of action. So inside the form, this action attribute is really very important. Like it's genuinely very important. So here you define what after clicking on submit. So what your form will actually do. Okay. So if you write here simply what I can say button, okay, and inside this this is how you can create a button by using the button tag. And if you write here submit, okay, and I click on refresh, go back to my web page, click on refresh, so you can see I am getting one button which is inside the form, right? And if I click on it, no matter how much I try, this won't work. Okay, so why this form is not getting submitted? Because inside the button I have to define the type. Okay, so if I type if I give it type of submit, okay, then it will submit to anywhere. Okay, so I have not specified the URL, so I will also define this like slash URL. Okay, so this will give me this particular part, the slash of my c portion. Okay, and if I want it to move to anywhere else, so what I can do slash let's say about .html. Let's try this. No, this is not the correct URL, so we won't be able to go anywhere. See about.html is not present on my disk space, so we won't be able to go there. And suppose I write here the URL of google.com, for example, google.co.in here. Okay, so if I click on now submit, so I'll be redirected to google.com. So server is not working now, not fine for now, so this won't work correctly. But you can like understand that when whatever thing you will write inside the action, you will be able to go there when you click on type submit button. Okay, so for writing anything we use the input tag. Okay, so inside the input tag this will be type of text. Okay, so there are a lot of input tags, so I have defined here the type of text. Okay, if I click on refresh, go back and again click on refresh, so you can see I am now getting one input. Okay, so this will say I can write anything here. I can write here a lot of things, like I can write my email ID here. So and I can simply click on submit. So this is how I have created the first part. So all of these entries will be submitted. Now this is a plain input, and it's not like displaying anything or explaining anything like what I have to write here. So for every input I can give a label also. Okay, so label, and label for it will be input, or we can say for name. Okay, and I can say enter your name. Okay, If I click on refresh, so you can see I am getting a label for my input now. So it's now more clear what I have to exactly do in this particular input. And if you want, you can also give a placeholder to this input. So how we give a placeholder, we add attribute, we write here placeholder, and we write first name, for example. So here your first name will come, right? And if I say, you can see I am getting this particular placeholder. So this explains more clearly what exactly I have to do. So I hope this part is clear to all of you. So if you can reply, it would be better so that we can continue further. If you guys have in doubt, we'll explain that. I'll explain that. Otherwise, we'll move forward. Okay. Okay. Hmm. Fine. So I have created this one input. So similar to this first input, I can create more than one label and input. So now let's create one input for password. Okay, so here the type of my input will be password. So if I click on save and I write here enter your password, and I click on save, go back, click on refresh, then you can see I have got another input with the label enter your password. And let me change the placeholder also to password. Okay, and if I click on refresh, so here if I write anything, this will come as a password format, right? This will not be seen on my web page. So this is that another type of input. Now apart from this input, what I can use, I can use another type of input in place of text and everything. I can use checkbox, right? So if I write here checkbox and I write placeholder is not required for checkbox, so I'll just remove this. And in place of label, I can write click on this checkbox. Okay, click on save, it on refresh, so I can just click on this checkbox also, right? So I can also create this kind of input. So there are a lot of types of inputs that are present. Again, if I change the type to, let's say, color, so here if I click on refresh, then you can see I will be able to select color. So based on the type, you can select any input of your choice. Okay, and now suppose I want radio button. Okay, I can select here radio button also. I can also take the date time, right? And here what I can do is I can add date time format, ddmmyy format also. And I can add calendar also. Okay, month also, and image also. If I write here image and I click on refresh, so this input will be a type of image only, right? And there are a lot of types, like you can check this out on Google also. A lot of types are there. URL, okay, week, time, text, telephone, submit, search, reset, range. If I let's check out range also. If I see here, you can see this I will get this range input. So there are a lot of inputs that are present. Okay, and you can work this out, you can practice this out, so you can create these simple forms. Okay, now this particular part is, I hope you it is clear to all of you. So you can create a simple login form also. So try creating a login form and sign up form. uh, then you'll be able to understand more clearly what exactly is happening. Okay, so I hope this forms part is also clear to all of you. Let me check if I have to. Yeah. So form is a collection of inputs, right? Check boxes, buttons, etc. And action that is present in the form will specify where my form data will be sent. Okay. So here this action is specifying that my form data will go to google.co.in. So you can specify it on your own wherever you want it to be sent. Okay, then input doesn't have a closing tag, just like image tag, and there is no content in between like input tag. And you can select type of the input, like text, password, color, or number. It depends on you, right? And when we submit a form, so what happens is HTTP request is sent to the server. So wherever I am sending, it is the server, right? And I am sending the request there, and we can control where the request goes, or we can use the action attribute to control where our HTTP request should go. Okay, and we can also add a method attribute here. Okay, so you will study more about. So there are 4 methods in HTTP. So here, if I say post, so my form data will be posted, and if I click here get, so it will get something. So I can also add method here. So we can control where the request goes, and we can also like select the type of HTTP method by using the method attribute. Placeholder is this particular part which will specify exactly what we have to write, right? This is attribute for input. Label is associated with the input only, and when screen readers are being implemented, then label helps a lot. Okay, so next is like yeah, we give it ID and everything to associate label with input. Then we have yeah, so button, submit button, the type, if the button type is button, then it won't work. Okay, and if the type is to submit, then only the form action will take place. So this is an important part, that the type of button you also have to specify. It's very important. So what we can do, we can also write input type equal to submit. This will also do our job, but it's a very bad practice. Okay, so we should always give type of submit to button only. We should not use this inside input. Okay, now when we submit a form or we search for something, we get like for example reddit.com or search or something. So q is the name of the input. Okay, so here it's going like name of the input q. So we can use alias also for our URL. So server looks for this name and attribute of the input field. Now checkbox I have already told you about, and it is very important to set the labels also for the input. Radio buttons, you can check this out. Now one more is select. Let me also tell you a little bit about select input. So input type no yeah, just remove this, and if I write select here, so inside the select I can write options. Okay, just a minute. Select options selected in option tag, that is option is pre-selected. Okay, so let me refresh this and let me see what I am getting. If I click on refresh, so you can see I'm getting a select drop down, but it does not contain anything. Okay, so let me just add values here. I think we write option here, right? Option 1. So I'm able to select option 1. Similarly to this, I can add more option. You can add any option of your choice, and you can select them from the drop down. Okay, so option 2, option 3, save this, click on refresh. So you can see you can select any options of your choice from this select drop down. So that's also a very important type. uh, so when we give type text, so when we have to write like text inside the input, we give type of text, and if we want to like add password to the input, then we give type password. So here like we have given the type of text, so we are able to write text here. So that's when we use type text. Then select is also done. Range, I have this slider comes, right? Min, max and range values can be selected. So there are a lot of like inputs that are present. You can practice this, work around, and you will explain, you'll be able to understand things more better, in a better way. So I think the form part is also complete, the tables part is also complete, and this is the okay, so this is one assignment for all of you. If you are able to complete this, then we are good to go to move further. Okay, so let me open this. So this is a race registration form. Here I can enter values. Here are some values. I can select a race, half marathon, full marathon. Here email ID can be added. Here password can be added. Age group can be selected, and if I click on register, it will be redirected to somewhere. So try building a form like this, and if you are able to build this, then you are able to like understand a lot of things that are happening. So if you want, you can take a screenshot of this and practice this for forms. I'll give you a minute to take the screenshot, and then we'll continue further. Okay, I hope you have like taken the screenshot. It's for practice. You don't have to submit it anywhere. It's for practice purposes only. Okay, so the part that of the like HTML is completed. Now we'll study a little bit about the what is exactly the web development part. So web development is a request and response cycle. So what we do is we send a request. We have a client that we are developing. So client is what user sees, and then we have a server. So server is the what I can say. Let me open Notepad and explain it more clearly. So there are basically two portions. Okay, so the first one is client. Okay, and the next one is server. Okay, we have two things when we are like studying about the web development. Both are created. Okay, so client side is what the user sees, or what we are able to see. That is the front end. Okay, client is also known as the front end, and server is the backend. Okay, this is the backend. So whatever thing we do for on the client side, if suppose I am like creating a form, for example. Okay, let's suppose I am creating form or something like that. Okay, so form data I have, and I want to send it to my backend or the server side. So client will do what? It will send a request to my backend, that as soon as you get the form data, you have to give a response, and in turn server will do what? Server will give a response. Okay, here server will give a response. So you send a request to the backend to the server, and in turn you get a response on the client side. Okay, so this is just like a request response cycle. So we request and view web resources in the World Wide Web, and other resources are identified using URL. Now, HTTP protocols are what we are using right now. Okay, the information is transferred using HTTP protocols on the browser, and there are also another type of protocols known as the TCP/IP protocols. Okay, so web works mainly according to HTTP protocols. Now whenever we do something on a web page, we send a request, as I was explaining it to you here. Whatever we do, we send a request to the server, and accordingly what happens is we get some response. Okay, and then browser displays it for using, browser displays it for us. So web server is just like a giant computer. Okay, so there is server in some place and it's like working. Okay, so client is the computer that is accessing that particular server. Now request response cycle. So when we generate a request, so server responds us with a code of instructions, okay, that the browser can understand, and it renders that for us. So suppose we, when we are pasting this particular file path, right, we are pasting this, so this request is going to the server that we have to open this particular file, and in response we are getting the HTML. Okay, so based on the response from the server, that on this side we have to display this. So this is the response of the server. Okay, okay, so this works with the like response cycle. So our browser can only understand HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and every web page is made of all, at most, like these three tools. Like if either HTML is used, or CSS is used, or JavaScript is used, so our like web page is made according to that only. Now this is the basics of the like web development. Okay, and we have completed about almost about all of the things in HTML. Now we'll move further with the CSS part. Okay, so let me just open the notes. Give me a minute. Okay, so now if you see some of the websites, that is, let's go for what we can say, some, if you look at some different websites, for example, let me open some from here. Okay, copy the path, paste this in the browser in place of this. So you can see you can add colors also to like your browser. Okay, so what how we can implement this, like how we can create different colors for our HTML code. This is done by, this is handled by cascading style sheet, or it is also known as the CSS part. Okay, so there are like different methods for writing CSS. Okay, the first one is by importing the styles. So there are three methods. First one is the importing the styles, the second one is using some attributes, and the third one is by creating a new file and then using it accordingly. So let's understand everything step by step. Okay, so I'll just remove everything from here. Okay, and I only have my body containing heading for now. Okay, I'll open this in the browser. So I am getting this particular heading. Now what I want to do is I want to change the color of this particular heading. So there are three methods of doing that using cascading style sheets. So if I write here style, and here I give it attribute of color, so I can say color, let's say blue. Okay, I have done this. So here what I have done, inside the H1 I have written style, color is blue, and if I refresh this, so you can see I am able to change the color of my H1. Okay, similar to this, suppose this is the body, and here also I can give a style, and I can say background color style to be black. Okay, if I go back, click on refresh, then you can see I am also able to change the background color. So again, there are also light of okay, if you understand it very clearly, then you can see that there are a lot of attributes that are present in CSS, like color, like font size, uh, font space, font weight, and a lot of things. Okay, so for now we are seeing the color and the background color. So it's learning about the forms in HTML and the background color. I can also give any random color to this, right? So this is the first method of writing the style. Another method is Give me a minute. I will remove this style attribute and I have removed the style attribute and these colors will go. Okay, what I can do is I can create a style tag here. Okay, and inside the style tag what I can do is I can target my h1, name of my h1, and here I can say change the color to blue. Okay, this is the second method how I can access things. So style tag, and inside this h1 is targeted and the color is blue. If I go back, click on refresh, then you can see that I am able to also change the color of the my heading. Similar to this, I can also target my body here. Okay, and I can say background color to black. Okay, if I refresh this, click on refresh, so you can see I'm also able to target the body by using this particular method. So the previous one was the first method and this is the second method. Third method, which is the most important and is always used and should always be used, is by creating a new file here. Okay, I will just create a new file here. Let's say index.css. Okay, you can also name it anything, and here I will write h1 and the color will be, let's say, pink. Okay, I have added this here. I will remove the style tag portion. Okay, so everything will be gone. Now the index.css file that I have created, here the color of h1 is pink. So for connecting these two files, I will go inside the head part and I will use link. Okay, link is related to style sheet and my href will be index.css. Okay, I have done this. If I click on refresh, then you can see I am able to use the style that I have added in this particular file. So this is the best approach that we should always use, creating a new file and connecting it with index.html and then accordingly working on it. So here also I can create the body styles. The background color will be black, for example. So I can change the background color also. So I hope this part is clear to all of you. Okay, so you can work around with these different methods. Okay, some of the attributes is listed here like color, background. Okay, colors, we can write the colors in three forms like the RGB value, right? So we can write it like, not like a simple this particular color, we can write it as RGB, this particular value. So this will also work. Let me show it to you. Okay, so we are getting this particular RGB color. We can also write hex codes here. Okay, we can also write some hexa codes. For example, this is known as the hex code. If I click on refresh, then you can see I am getting this particular hex code color, right? So I can create any color of my choice here. Fine. So these are the three methods of writing colors also. So I think for now, if we continue more further, then it will be very overwhelming for you guys also. So I show you an example of how we can create some good website path and paste it here. Okay, so what you will do is, for now, for learning the CSS part, try creating a page with this background color and a sign up. Okay, just one thing, the animation that is happening on the sign up, you don't need to do that, but you have to create a button of sign up. Okay, and this should look something like this. If you are able to create that, then I think you will be able to understand css from what we'll be going to study from tomorrow. Okay, so take this as an assignment. I am giving you a minute or two to take the screenshot of this, and then we'll continue. Okay, so I hope you guys have taken the screenshot of this. So yeah, I think this all of these things will be a little bit overwhelming for all of you if we continue any further. Meanwhile, yeah. So let me just tell you about one more attribute, which is the text aligned one, and then we'll like finish this class for today. So if I just go to index.css, and if I use the text align property here to center, then I go back and I click on refresh, then you can see that I am able to align my text at the center of my web page. Okay, and this looks good from the perspective. Okay, and if I just change it back to like left and I click on refresh, then you can see it's on the left. I can also make it on the right, so this will come to the right part. Okay, so similar to this, if you go to w3 schools documentation, w3 schools documentation, okay, then you will be able to like see a lot of like portion where you will get a lot of attributes regarding css also. Again, you don't have to like remember all of them, but you need to practice them so that you know what all attributes are present in css. Okay, now I think the part for me that I had prepared for now is done. Okay, so if you guys have any doubts in from today's class, you can ask in the chat box. We'll wait for 5 to 6 minutes, and you can write in the chat box all of your doubts, and we can discuss about that. Both are good documentations. You can refer any of them. Both MDN and W3 schools are good documentation. If you guys have anything, you can ask. We can wait. Assignment we don't have to submit. It's for practice only. I don't have any idea about the attendance. Okay, so I guess other people can take the attendance. I don't have, we don't have to submit any task anywhere. Yes, we'll be working on some of the projects. Uh, we'll be working on some of the projects in the later point of time, but due to time constraints we won't be able to build all of them. I can provide the code, I can help you with the code, but we won't be able to complete them step by step in class only. Okay. Anything else? For now, we have only studied about HTML. Like one person has asked how many languages we have to study. So right now we have completed about like HTML only. And today we started little bit of like styling part and the CSS part. Now in the next class or from tomorrow onwards, we'll like I'll explain a little bit about JavaScript, then we'll go for the node, the backend part. How we like up till now we were creating only client side or the front end up till JavaScript. Then we'll be studying about backend and then we'll use node, right? And we'll create the requests, HTTP requests from the server, like where from where our server will interact. Okay. So that's all part that we are going to study about. React.js, I don't think we'll be able to cover that in this session since we don't have that much of time. But when you learn about JavaScript, you will be able to understand React way better since it's like JavaScript library only. So you can like, you will be able to understand JavaScript a lot better, like the React a lot better if you know about JavaScript. Okay, so I think yeah, so I think there are no more doubts. Okay, and I think I have covered all the doubts of yours. So if you guys have any doubts, you try practicing HTML and a little bit of CSS. Try practicing this today, so that you are able to understand what we all studied in today's session. And yeah, so uh, as soon as we start tomorrow, I hope you will study a little bit of documentation of W3 schools. Try studying about it, try practicing all the tags and also some of the part of CSS, and then we'll continue with our session tomorrow. Thank you all for your time and have a good day.